I noticed this anime in 9gag TV recently. There's a compilation video of a female anime character delivering nothing but an onslaught of dirty sex jokes in a ridiculously short amount of time in every single dialogue. I actually looked this anime up and I thought, wow, that's a ridiculously stupid concept. But it's a comedy, and the last comedy that I watched was freaking amazing, so screw it, I'm definitely gonna watch that. Well, now that I watched the entire 12 episodes of this anime, is it really as dumb as how it was advertised? Let's find out.
Anticipation, the twilight fuels the intoxication, no hesitation, I'm giving into this.
So Shimoneta has the most ridiculous premise that you can ever think of. Basically, the characters are living in a world where dirty jokes or anything that is considered to be sexy are so incredibly inappropriate, it is now illegal. You know, just like in real life. Any sexual expression that you can think of is now considered illegal, and the government is watching every single one of your actions. You know, just like in real life. If you have a porn magazine, they're gonna take it away from you and burn it. If you draw fan arts of your favorite characters in a compromising position, they will also take that away from you. If you have a 1TB HDD filled with nothing but gay porn, they will also take that away from you. Seriously, is this anime or real life? Of course, mankind is not the kind of peoples that like to be enslaved and controlled, so there are peoples who are gonna rebel against this movement. Meet Ayame Kajo, aka Blue Snow, the leader of the terrorist organization named Socks, who thrives in to spread lewd and dirty pictures to everybody. And yes, that's her costume. She goes on completely new with a white panty on her head. Did I forget to mention that this is a comedy series? With the help of a reluctant student Tanukichi Okuma, together they're gonna make sure that the repressed world becomes free of the government's oppression so that they can have the freedom that they all deserve. And by the way, they established this world so well, if you replace dirty jokes with hate speech or disagreements, it's essentially 1984. Despite the dumb nature of it, it's quite an interesting look of the bleak dystopian world of the future. The comedy of this entire anime comes entirely from the two protagonists and the over-the-top reactions of the characters surrounding them. Remove the two and you'll see a really bleak world with humans that don't act like humans, but a mere drone to serve the government. Yeah, sure, Japan might be peaceful and everything like that, but the effect of censoring dirty words in this anime world actually goes beyond that just people's not watching porn or looking at nude magazines. It is to the point where the concept of love and sexuality is completely blank to the face of everyone. I'm not kidding. There's one portion of this episode in which high school students must be taught in how humans make babies. The government is repressing them so much that the core part of what makes us human becomes unclear to them. Our natural instincts to reproduce and to even satisfy ourselves sexually are now illegal. They don't want us to enjoy our sexuality. They don't want us to feel lust towards anything. They are repressing our natural instincts. They don't want us to become a human being. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in that scary ass world. The villains are of course the big bad government, trying to censor everything dirty from the face of the planet. Now, normally I would say that the goal is freaking ridiculous, but I cannot do that because thanks to our government being dumbasses, the ridiculousness of the villain turns from unbelievable to incredibly plausible, and it's all thanks to our government being the usual dumbass that they try to censor pretty much everything. You know the deal, censorship of video games, movies, TV shows, Twitter messages, and even air conditioner. Freaking air conditioner! And you thought that was ridiculous? Do you know how we watch SpongeBob every day here in Indonesia? Yeah, just like that. And no, I'm not kidding. That's exactly how we watch it. Just, wow. Talk about ridiculous. This anime is a harsh and refreshing satire that challenges the boundaries of censorship the same way Korra challenges the boundaries of LGBT representation in cartoons. It's a really well-timed middle finger towards the government and the mass media trying to censor freedom of speech and things that are considered dirty in favor of the so vague and incredibly subjective term of morality. I'm not really sure what kind of morality that they're trying to strive for here, because this entire practice on banning sex jokes and censoring sexual content might as well be called mass genital mutilation. Yes, we still have our genitals, but the idea of using them at anything is now illegal. That is scary. The intelligent social commentary cannot be backed up if the anime wasn't that great. Thankfully, if you strip the social commentary out, what's left is a very funny and enjoyable anime. I'm actually quite impressed. I watched this anime expecting nothing but an endless onslaught of dirty jokes being shoved down into my face. Quite surprisingly, this anime limits itself from doing so in favor of actually telling a simple story of rebels trying to break free under government's oppression. Its incredibly simple story is surprisingly intriguing, and it gets me into the edge of my seat from the beginning until the end. The methods that these rebels levels due to break free is hilarious, and the dirty jokes are just there to give in quite the comedy. For an anime that is riddled with a lot of dirty sex jokes, I'm very surprised that the writing is actually not that bad. In fact, it should be commended, particularly towards the writing of Ayami Senpai. Ayami Senpai is able to sneak in innuendos and dirty words so smoothly into every single line of dialogue about as smooth as a water slide. Her jokes range from predictable to shocking, and it goes on back and forth between the two every single time she says it in an alarming motion. And surprisingly, I didn't find it incredibly tiresome because the story actually contributes to a lot of variety of her jokes in that it actually progresses on introducing new things for her to say and new creative ways for her to insert dirty jokes here. Instead of being disgusted, I'm actually astonished, and the wonderful back and forth contrast between the foul-mouthed Ayami and straight-faced Akuma makes some incredibly hilarious moments that becomes the ultimate highlight of this entire show. Also, the euphemisms, man. They're just freaking amazing. Surprisingly, despite being an anime of nothing but sex jokes, out of the 12 episodes of this entire anime, there are only like 3 sex scenes, all of which comes from the same 2 participants, and all of these are rape scenes. Oh, don't worry, it's a very politically correct rape scene because it's a boy being raped by a girl. The same way if a bunch of immigrants from the Middle East and Africa actually mass rape people in German, that's definitely the mistakes of the German for not being careful enough. If there's like 1 sex scene per episode, it would be nothing but hentai, but this anime is fully aware that it cannot rely on dirty jokes and sex to completely sell it out. Now, I can't help but to give praise to this anime a lot in this review, and that's because this anime really surprised me in almost every way. The one final thing that I'm surprised at, the story is very well structured and very well paced. The anime has its first half and second half, and both of these halves do different things. The introduction to the main protagonist and how the world works are done really well in the first half, and adding more to the insanity in the second half. Although the anime would have worked better with only 11 episodes because episode 12 is some sort of a filler for the whole thing, but at least it's not as bad as Raka. Is there a problem that I have with Shimoneta? Well, the problem isn't really about the anime itself, but how people are gonna react to it. I can probably be the only person in this entire world that find this anime to be genuinely good. Am I? Really? This anime is really freaking dumb, no doubt, and unfortunately the sheer amount of stupidity on this anime can really turn a lot of people off. I didn't feel stupid watching this anime, to be honest. In fact, knowing how much this anime gives commentary on the ridiculousness of the government, I actually find it entertaining in a clever way. The side characters are very weak, however. They can be hilarious sometimes, but most of the time they're not really that important. I honestly don't know this anime's fascination with having 2 underage girl characters. I mean, can't we balance it with a guy? This anime only has 1 recurring guy, and he looks about as attractive as, well... I suppose it's one way to make it politically correct. If it's entirely just guys, it would be a gangbang. But in the end, to me, Shimoneta is best described as an onslaught of surprise. This anime is nothing but constant surprise and surprise and surprise. This anime surprises me in every single turn, and every time it does, it manages to astonish me. From what starts off as nothing but an onslaught of decency into the human brain, this anime transitions smoothly into a genuinely fun comedy with likable characters and a hard shove of the middle finger towards the government's ridiculous policy on censoring everything. This anime shows the bad effects of censorship, and I will never ever forget that magnificent speech in the end of episode 11. It's a brilliantly done speech that is among the best of all animes out there. That speaks a hard truth to the nature of censorship in its entirety. Just go watch this anime. I can't believe that I'm gonna say this to an anime that contains a merciless onslaught of dirty sex jokes, but Shimoneta gets 4 stars out of 5. Very flawed, and I doubt a lot of people are gonna like it, but I find it surprisingly enjoyable, and if you're ready for an onslaught of endless sex jokes, you might find this anime surprising. Go ahead and check it out for yourself. That's all for the review today. If you like this review, you can go ahead and click the like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.